Good morning to everyone. My name is Feng. Today I will be present the paper named as The Role of Financial Strain and Trust in Government in Shaping Taxpayer Compliance, a Conceptual Review. The paper is written by me and also Dr. Muhammad Alif Anwar bin Abu Bakar and also Dr. Saiza bin Pinjaman. This is the today's presentation's agenda. We have four parts. The first part is introduction, second part is literature review, third part is conceptual model development, and the last part is discussion and conclusion. Tax compliance has been selected as the constructs to study. This is because direct tax are the main source of revenue for Malaysia, and it consistently contribute over half of the revenues towards the total federal revenue, and this makes tax compliance crucial for sustaining public spending. In the gross direct tax collections compared by states, in 2023, Sabah has the lowest individual income tax contribution, which only have 20.39%, which make tax compliance worthwhile to study. And financial strain, also high poverty and high income inequality, especially in Sabah, has created financial pressure that may increase the likelihood of tax dissatisfaction and non-compliant behavior. Trust in government also has been studied in this paper. Trust in government plays a key role in shaping taxpayer compliance behavior, as lower institutional trust may weaken voluntary compliance, which taxpayer, if they have a low confidence in government, they may likely to decrease their willingness in comply tax obligations voluntarily. There are two theories that has been applied in this study, which are prospect theory and theory of planned behavior. Prospect theory explains how individuals make decisions based on perceived gains and losses relative to a reference point, but not overall wealth. The key concepts under these prospect theories are loss aversion, which losses feel stronger than gains, and diminishing sensitivity. Small changes matter more for low-income group. In tax compliance, taxpayers often view tax payment as a loss, especially when they are under financial strain and financial pressure, which may increase risk-taking behavior such as tax underreporting and tax evasion. Prospect theory has been widely applied in tax studies, which shows poor financial conditions may strongly influence the taxpayer compliance decisions and their willingness to comply. The second theory that we have applied in this conceptual framework is theory of planned behavior. Theory of planned behavior explains how individual behavior is driven by behavioral intentions, which is shaped by attitudes toward the behavior, subjective norms, and perceived behavioral control. The key concept under this theory of planned behavior are three beliefs, which are behavioral beliefs, expected outcome shaping attitude, normative beliefs, perceived social expectation shaping subjective norms, and control beliefs, perceived ability to perform the behavior shaping perceived behavioral control. In tax compliance, favorable attitudes towards paying taxes, supportive social norms, and strong sense of control over tax obligations may strengthen the taxpayers' intentions to comply, which increase their willingness to submit their tax voluntarily. Theory of planned behavior has been widely applied in tax research across developed and developing contexts, including Malaysia. demonstrating its suitability for explaining the taxpayer's compliance behavior and also examining the mediating effect of trust in government. From the previous literature review, we have developed the conceptual model, which financial strains directly influence the tax compliance of the taxpayer, and also the trust in government play as a mediator in the relationship between financial strain and tax compliance. For financial strain and tax compliance, income inequality, poverty, and low income status can be the key source of financial strain that reduce tax compliance. The prior study shows that higher income inequality correlates with higher tax underreporting. Poorer regions exhibit higher tax evasion, and low-income groups shows the highest ratio of underreported tax. The individuals in financial difficulty will likely prioritize their personal debts and their necessities over the tax obligations. Hence, we propose this conceptual framework shows a direct negative relationship between financial strain and tax compliance, which the financial pressure increase because of income inequality, poverty, and limited resources of income. Taxpayers may be less compliant and decrease their willingness to submit their tax voluntary, and which this is aligned with the prospect theory and prior empirical studies. And the second conceptual framework is trust in government play as a mediator between the relationship of financial strain and also tax compliance. Financial strain caused by inequality and limited social mobility weakens citizens' trust in government. Tax compliance is viewed as a reciprocity contract. When government performance is perceived as inadequate, trust declines and non-compliance increase. And also, empirical studies shows that declining trust driven by inequality and financial pressure directly reduce tax compliance. And conversely, taxpayers may be more compliant when they believe the government acts fairly and use public resources responsibly. Within the theory of planned behavior framework, trust in government shapes attitude, subjective norms, and perceived behavioral control toward paying taxes. Hence, we have proposed this conceptual framework suggests that trust in government are capable to be the mediator, which mediates the relationship between financial strain and tax compliance, whereby financial strain reduce trust, which in turn lowers compliance behaviors and intentions. We have come to the last part of this presentation, which are discussion and conclusions. The paper has integrates prospect theory and the theory of planned behavior to explain tax compliance under financial strain. And the research contributions are introduced the trust in government as a mediating mechanism linking economic hardship and compliance behavior. The practical implications through this conceptual paper is clarifies socio-economic influences like financial strain to support more equitable tax policies. The key insights in this conceptual paper is financial strain reduces tax compliance both directly and indirectly through trust in government. The broader relevance through this conceptual paper is offer insights that applicable to regions that with similar challenges, such as the regions that also have high poverty and high income inequality. They may adapt to this conceptual paper. And the future studies. For future study part, this conceptual paper can empirically tested by the quantitative research methods, which they can also include key moderators and cross-regional comparison, such as compare different states in Malaysia, or also comparison across different income group. And this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.